cared for the earth since the beginning of time. We are the stewards, the caretakers, the keepers of the land, air, and water. We are the indigenous people of the world, and we are using our traditional ways and science to protect Mother Earth. I'm Steve Tsilhqot'in, and welcome to Down2Earth. Today in our show, we head to British Columbia, Canada, where the Tsilhqot'in Nation is racing against time to save their traditional territory from a proposed mine. We'll also meet Cease Weiss and learn how Indigenous people are creating urban gardens. And later on the show, we'll travel to Copenhagen, where we'll meet environmentalist Vandana Shiva. In 2007, the Tsilhqot'in First Nation won a landmark decision in the British Columbia Supreme Court that confirmed their Aboriginal title to 200,000 hectares of land in the Nemaya Valley. The court decision upheld the Tsilhqot'in's inherent right to use their land for fishing, hunting, and other traditional activities. It also confirmed their right to approve industrial and commercial ventures in their territory.
I have sat back long enough. I've been quiet long enough.
What is the main reason for this demonstration?
Tsilhqot'in mines, they're planning on destroying a lake, Biltong Bean, we call it, and Fish Lake, English. They're going to drain that lake and probably use it for a tailing pond. And what is it going to do to the environment? What is it going to do to our salmon? That's their livelihood. They're going to destroy. That's why we're totally against mining in that area.
The land is very sacred. A lot of our people have died in that area, Tsilhqot'in, near Tsilhqot'in. And that's where they're gonna put a tailings pond in that area. And it's not very good to have other government agencies or the companies destroying that area.
The Nemaya Valley is one of the few remaining pristine regions in Canada. Until the early 1970s, there was no road into the territory, and its remoteness has ensured that this ecosystem, with its abundant salmon, trout, grizzly, bighorn sheep, and even wild horses, has remained virtually untouched by development.
I remember when we were young and my dad brought us here, and it was a beautiful sunny day. I just remember him showing us the narrow places in the creek where the fish trap was put in. And I remember that was something very important. I remembered it very clearly.
The Tsilhqot'in First Nation is the southernmost Athabascan-speaking people in BC. The nation is made up of 5 communities who live throughout the Tsilhqot'in Plateau, east of Williams Lake. Their territory includes lakes, mountains, rivers, pine forests, and grasslands.
We need to protect our wetlands. Wetlands are a reservoir for the rivers and lakes. It's pretty difficult to contain Mother Nature. All of our concern is that the tailings pond waters will seep into the rivers that will affect and impact the salmon and other fish species. The damage will be forever. Proposed project would destroy our people. This is our homeland. It is a part of who we are. It would be like cutting out our heart and expecting us to live on.
Tsilhqot'in Mines Limited estimates the value of the copper and gold reserves at this site at more than $1.5 billion.
I am tired of fighting the government. We are protecting our rivers, our salmon, our fish,
What's going on now at Fish Lake?
We did have an agreement with Tsilhqot'in Mines Limited when they first came to our territory, but that fell off the rails last year in August because they went against a process that we had worked with for over a year and a half. We chose to fully oppose the project. There are companies that come in, and we don't turn them all away. We look at the referrals and we see how it lines up with our land use, and if it's a project that could potentially in the future destroy any of our fresh clean water or have an adverse effect on our wildlife, then of course we are going to say no, you can't do that.
We need to stand together and fight for our future generations and the sustainability of not only our languages, our culture, but also the land and the water.
Some of the referrals that you deal with, sometimes are environmental impact assessments required, archaeological assessments required, and when that's the case, do they use your people? Do they use your expertise from your communities?
We did have an agreement with them in the past, and we did work on baseline studies with Tsilhqot'in Mines Limited, and we worked closely with them for over a year and a half. And we went out in the field with them and collected baseline studies. We wanted to create a picture of how this mine would look for our people, the benefits that it could have, and also the impacts in the end. They're destroying a lake.
They have to give back what they took away from us. In order to lose your land, you either have to give it away, sell it, or lose it in war, and we didn't do either of those three.
In January 2010, the province of BC awarded Tsilhqot'in Mines Limited a provincial environmental assessment certificate, which paves the way for the mine to be built in the future. The company plans to use Fish Lake as a tailing pond and establish a new lake to replace it.
Fish Lake will be destroyed. If we look to government and industry for a simple buck today and for the next 22 years, what's going to happen to our future generations many years down the road?
Only time will tell how this major gold and copper mine will impact the Tsilhqot'in people and one of the last unspoiled ecosystems in Canada.